गुड मॉर्निंग and welcome to Gana Short. Gana Short में आप सबका स्वागत है. Today we're going to see the new normal facing India. Well, the new normal facing India is all on your screen. All those cartoons, those wonderful cartoons which I have not made. To be very honest, I have not made them. I've just picked them up and those people and I put them in context. That's all I've done. I think they're fabulous. So we'll go over each facet of this story. And I mean, each cartoon here represents a chapter which we're going to talk of or something. And some will be repetition. I'm going to link it up with what we have done earlier and some new ideas. That's how the whole thing goes forward. But I hope you're having a great Sunday, wherever you are. If you are in USA or thereabouts, it's Saturday evening. And of course, if you had your this thing, if you're in Punjab, you might be having parathas and lassi. In Chennai, you have idli and dosas. And I've had my idlis, right? And whatever, or puri bhaji, or if you're in MP, you might be having poha. But I hope you had a great day, a great breakfast. Let's get going. First thing, G7. G7 is going to happen later this month. About 2 days back, they said, oh, India is not being called and India is being excluded and all that nonsense. Lo and behold, what happens? The Prime Minister of Canada gives a personal call to our PM and says, please come. Right? And he's facing backlash for it in Canada. It doesn't matter. He says, please come. Why? Why? And why? Very simple. The answer is less than the 3 whys I've asked. You can't ignore the 4th largest economy in the world. All these G7 nations, if you see today, their economies are in the dumps. They have to be lifted out. And earlier it used to be China, and China is absent in this. Understand? China has not been called here. China used to lift them out. Today, all are looking at India. Yeah, you'll find many of them saying, oh, India is bureaucratic, all that nonsense. Just forget it. They're as bureaucratic as us. Maybe a little more efficient, but that's about it. And I'm in no hurry to become rich. Right? Okay, I'm in more hurry to become good. It has its meanings, yeah, but that's the first thing. That's the first normal we are facing. The second, I saw this article in Dawn and I didn't connect it till I read the whole report, and it bears thinking. Now, as per Dawn, he says a World Bank finding is that nearly 45% of Pakistanis live below the poverty line. And it's not a surprise as for them. And these chaps are buying all kinds of aircraft, Munirji. The proportion of people living in extreme poverty, this is important, please understand the new normal, has risen from 4.9% to 16.5% in Pakistan on the period which has been covered. Okay? And this is based on a survey conducted in 2018-19. And after that, they don't take into account the floods, the droughts, the inflation, the economic downturn and all that. So the actual situation could be worse. Okay, why am I talking of poverty in Pakistan? Because of this. People say China lifted so many people out of poverty, all that. Look at this. In the same period, the poverty rate in India has dropped from 5.3% from 27% to 5.3%. Same metrics. What are we talking of? Which ass says hyphenate India and Pakistan? Let's hyphenate India and Pakistan with this. Are these guys got some sense? Who are talking of hyphenation? Especially from the West? They do they understand what they're talking? Look, we have lifted 269 million individuals above a poverty line. And this is a World Bank report, damn it. Do you know what 269 million means? In this period, we have lifted one Pakistan, full Pakistan out of poverty. Do you know the strategic significance of this? In the same period, half of Pakistan has gone below poverty line. किस बात की बात कर रहे हैं यार? If our Prime Minister isn't called for G7, पाकिस्तान को बुलाएंगे क्या? Look at this. Few days back, 2 days back, 3 days back, our Prime Minister inaugurated this Chenab Bridge. What has it done? It has connected Kashmir from India by rail. End of story. The Kashmir story is finished. Disputed status, all this nonsense. When our Prime Minister says we'll talk of Pakistan only about POK, there's a lot of sense. There's a new normal, and the new normal has value. Forget me. Forget me. Forget what I'm talking. Let's hear a Pakistani. I'm going to play a clip, and this was on Twitter. I picked it up from Twitter of a chap called Shabar Zaidi. Who's Shabar Zaidi? I've been talking of him when I spoke with Sanjay Dixit on Jaipur Dialogues. Shabar Zaidi was the head of FBR, Federal Board of Revenue, under Imran Khan. Within 1 year, he was taken out. That's a different story. Because he's quite outspoken. He's a chartered accountant and he knows his beans. I'm not saying he's pro-India, ye, wo. But he keeps coming in a lot of, YouTube channels. And I've been listening to him. And the fellow talks economic sense. This clip which I saw in Twitter highlights, and this clip predates the World Bank report. It predates the inauguration of Chenab Bridge. Listen to it, 3 minutes, and then you'll understand what I'm talking. This chap is Shabar Zaidi. Some of you might have seen him. Okay. And he talks sense. He talks fundamental sense for Pakistan. But in Pakistan, who listens to fundamental sense? Look, here, go.
ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि क्या अरे यार मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ कि आपके ईस्टर्न साइड पे इंडिया है, उसका बजट आपसे 7 टाइम है, आप लड़ना चाहते हो?
लड़ना तो कोई भी नहीं चाहता सर।
तो फिर तो अगर नहीं लड़ना नहीं चाहते, चलो बराबरी करना चाहते हो?
ख्वाहिश तो है।
तो फिर बराबरी करने के पैसे हैं? नहीं है ना। तो ये जो मैंने शुरू में बात की थी, ये प्रवाही दिमाग से निकाल दो कि आप इंडिया से लड़ सकते हो। ये मान लो कि नहीं लड़ सकते। हाँ, अगर वो हमारे ऊपर हमला करेंगे तो हम बम चला देंगे, ये इस डिटरेंस है हमारे पास। मगर ये हम अगर कह दें कि हम उतने ही टैंक लेंगे, हम उतनी आबदोजें लेंगे, हम उतनी जहाज लेंगे जो इंडिया ले रहा है, तो हम बेवकूफ है ना। हम क्यों ये बात करते हैं? प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, ये क्यों करी जा रही है? पाकिस्तान में ये बात क्यों की जाती है? क्या लोगों को भूखा मारेंगे आप? 40 साल से फौज कोई वॉर नहीं हुई, आप जंग चाहते हो?
जंग कौन चाहेगा
यार? मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ ना, जंग क्यों होगी, किस बात के ऊपर?
See, very important point he said. क्या आप लोगों को भूखा मारना चाहते हो? Right? That's why that poverty. See, you connect the poverty and what this man has said.
तो भी क्या वजह है इंडिया से जंग करने की?
सर कश्मीर एक मामला है जो
कश्मीर आपके हाथ से जा चुका है, भूल जाए कश्मीर को।
इंडिया के पास
कश्मीर आपके हाथ से जा चुका है, and he'll explain why. That's the beauty.
जहां भी जा चुका है, अब भूल जाए, मैंने आपसे 2 प्रोग्राम कर चुका हूँ कश्मीर के ऊपर। अब कश्मीर के बारे में बात नहीं करें। आपने सुना है कश्मीर के बारे में गुफ्तगू कोई रिसेंटली? वो कभी कभी शौक आता है, छुट्टी उट्टी कर लेते हैं हम लोग, वो अलग बात है। कश्मीर लेना है तुमने, तुम लड़के ले लोगे? तुम क्या बातें करो यार, तुम कश्मीर ले लोगे लड़के, ये कह रहे हो?
कहता है कश्मीर ले लोगे लड़के। वो है ना वो मुनीर, कहता है कश्मीर इज और जगलर, हम गॉन, एंड व्हाई इट्स गॉन ही विल टेल यू।
तुम ये कह रहे हो कि पाकिस्तानी फौज जाएगी और टैंकों में जाके श्रीनगर फतह कर लेगी, ये कह रहे हो तुम? आर यू इन सेंसेस? 3 दफा तुम ये हरकतें कर चुके हो, कारगिल में भी कर चुके हो हरकत, तुम्हें अभी भी अकल नहीं आई? अकल अभी भी नहीं आई? मैंने तुम्हें कहा था कि इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी के बाद पाकिस्तान इंडिया डिस्प्यूट खत्म हो चुका है और कश्मीरी खुद फैसला करेंगे कि उन्हें इंडिया के साथ रहना है या नहीं रहना। हम इस पे पार्टी नहीं है, हम उनकी मॉरल सपोर्ट करते थे, करते रहेंगे, करते रहेंगे, करते रहेंगे। मॉरल सपोर्ट,
इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है।
तो क्या करो? इससे ज्यादा क्या बम मारने हैं? क्या करोगे बताओ ना, इससे ज्यादा क्या? ज्यादा ज्यादा का ना, आपने ज्यादा का डिफाइन करो, ज्यादा को।
सर वो कश्मीर पाकिस्तान की शहरक है, फिर तो हमारी शहरक कट गई।
कट गई ना शहरक, अगर शहरक कट गई तो फिर मर गए, मगर शहरक अब दोबारा नहीं बन सकती ना यार। आप जो बात कर रहे हो ये इलॉजिकल है ना। क्या मैं आपसे बार बार पूछ रहा हूं कि क्या पाकिस्तान मिलिट्रली कश्मीर पे कब्जा कर सकता है? एक इंसान बन के सोचो। अब उन्होंने ट्रेन चला दी है जम्मू से श्रीनगर, ट्रेन बानीहाल पास के थ्रू ट्रेन जा रही है। कैन यू इमेजिन? तुम किस दुनिया में बैठे हो? टाटा कंपनी का प्रॉफिट पाकिस्तान के जीडीपी से बराबर हो गया है। एक कंपनी का, इंडियन कंपनी का, एक टाटा कंपनी का प्रॉफिट पाकिस्तान के जीडीपी के बराबर है। आप कश्मीर आजाद कराने चल पड़े हो। खाने को रोटी नहीं है, कश्मीर आजाद कराएंगे? क्या बातें करो यार।
खाने को रोटी नहीं है, कश्मीर आजाद कराएंगे। See, all 3 things which I've highlighted before this, whether it's the G7 or the Chenab Bridge and the rail connection, or about poverty alleviation, this man has spoken in some different manner. Okay? This fundamental sense, I don't know if Pakistanis can understand. I don't know if the world has understood. I don't know if this gentleman called Trump has understood. One lot has understood, the bloody Chinese. Okay, Chinese have understood. So this is something which we have to, take care about. But Pakistan being Pakistan, फिर भी victory है. Who's the only guy who's won out in this? The only guy who's won is Asim Munir. Yeah. Only he's risen up. And this feckless prime minister of theirs, he calls it historic victory everywhere. You have to understand this new normal, because after this, what I'm going to speak, you have to understand what I'm going to say now. Have you noticed, after Op Sindoor, wherever Shahbaz Sharif goes, Asim Munir goes? In fact, I'll put it the other way around. Shahbaz Sharif is only taken where Asim Munir goes, and he only speaks what Asim Munir wants him to speak. They go to Mecca together, they go to a dam to talk together, they go to staff college together. Shahbaz Sharif is not allowed to open one little, finger without Asim Munir's thing. So the new normal is that you're dealing with a dictatorship, period. Call it hybrid, behind the scene, whatever it is. This fellow is just that, an idiot. You have to deal with this guy. Okay, that's the new normal. Now let's get to this. Let's get to this equation between Pakistan and China and how we understand this. Look, this equation is not new. We all knew it. Okay. Very clearly, Pakistan is what it is depicted in this cartoon. Right? It's not nothing new about it. And everyone now says Pakistan and USA are on the same page. Yeah, they are on the same page. I agree with you. They are in the same book, but this is their thing. It is just that Trump doesn't know. Trump is more in this mode than in this mode. And why? The story is about Baluchistan. Minerals. Trump wants minerals from all around. Here there's a lot of minerals. There's a lot of minerals and gas. There's a lot of ocean resources in Gwadar and its location. And Trump is gunning for it. So are the Chinese. Trump has been gunning for minerals everywhere. I've been saying this all around. Greenland, Ukraine, Congo. Wherever he sees minerals, he goes. Myanmar. Why do you think they're going to Myanmar? I've been saying this. What is this humanitarian corridor about? You think Trump and America are bothered about Myanmaris or Rohingyas or Bangladeshis? My left foot. They want to go in there to counter China and to get hold of the rare earths there. And I've explained earlier, when I did the program on rare earths, why are they going there? Minerals. Everything is mineral war. It's like mineral water, whatever it is. Okay, it is this. But people need to understand. Okay, today, Baluchistan is the new Afghanistan. It's happening. It'll happen. Might not happen. But that's the way I look at it. And China is the new USA in Baluchistan. And as I go along, I'll prove it. And both are going to get hit. Okay. I have to go back to February when this field marshal, at that time he spoke in this mineral investment forum in 2025. And that's the time when this chap also.
Retd will be the beacon that leads Pakistan into the ranks of the top global mining jurisdictions. At the end of 2024, the feasibility study was completed, producing total contained, proven, and probable mineral reserves of 15 million tons.
So this chap is the CEO of Barrick Gold. Asim Munir was there in that forum, and he's announced that there is so much minerals out there. I'll not show you the full clip. I've shown it enough. There's a game going on. This is at Retd. There's another place called Sandak. Okay. Retd is here, Sandak is here. Sandak already China has a grip. So is Barrick Gold, which is a Canadian company. So is, right, Barrick Gold, which is a Canadian company. Now, China is being edged out. So you think the new normal is going to be easy in Baluchistan? It's not going to be easy. What is US interest? Trump wants to get hold of minerals. And Trump has a new thing. This is personal. Please understand. There's a crypto push. It's not push, it's push. It's a typo from my side. And then, of course, keep China out. This is a new battleground. And it's happening. And as we go along, I'll explain to you why it's happening. And that's the new normal which we have to handle. Few days back, Pakistan unveiled the first government-led strategic Bitcoin reserve. Look, I'll be very honest. I'm not too clear about this Bitcoin business. There's something fishy about it. Okay, it gets reflected in South China Morning Post. As I understood from what little I learned, if you want to get into Bitcoin business and all, you need power. So where is this power going to come from? It's going to come from the surplus capacity, power capacity built as part of CPEC. Why? They built the capacity to produce power, but they don't have feeder lines. And it's so costly, no one is taking it. In any case, in Pakistan, no one pays for it. Pakistan government can't bear it. So that power capacity is being given to or being planned to be used for Bitcoin reserve. Okay. For that, they need coal. Where does the coal come from? Indonesia. Do they have the money to pay for it? No. Who will finance it? I don't know. Do they have the water? If they use water for this, then there's no water for their fields. Remember, water source is only Indus. And whatever is water is used in coal plants, thermal plants, you can't recycle it. And then these are all Chinese. They're all Chinese power plants. So how is this going to get tangled out? So there, I see a battle on this strategic Bitcoin reserve between USA, China, and Pakistan. Why am I talking of USA? I'll come to this. Right? I mean, this whole story is started from USA, from a conference in Los Angeles, which these chaps went and attended. And who are the guys in Los Angeles? Trump family. So there's an unholy thing starting there. And it is not only that. There's a solar power boom in Pakistan. And that solar power boom is also by China. And that undercuts the Chinese coal plants. There's a bugger's muddle out there. Let's not get carried away by just what's happened in Op Sindoor. Op Sindoor, whatever has happened, but more interesting things are happening in Pakistan. Because Chinese have to sell their solar capability, otherwise they are sunk. So the Chinese are cutting themselves. And Pakistan is getting squeezed in between. And now this Bitcoin reserve, yeah, wo. But that Bitcoin reserve itself is a bloody problem. Let me tell you this. This is a New York Times article which says there's a buyer of whatever Trump is trying with ties to Chinese Communist Party. And he's got VIP treatment at Trump crypto dinner. See the unholy nexus which is coming. This is the new normal. What do you do? I'll come to that. It's not that you can't do, you can do hell of a lot. That's one part. Now this is, again, I picked it up from the Twitter. This is part of the Pakistani delegation who's gone to USA and see what he has said.
But if we don't get any equipment, you've seen what would have happened to us if we didn't have air defense. We would have been rubbles. We'd be pulling out 60,000 kids from the rubble of schools. And when 80 planes come at you, 80.
First and foremost, he says, if we didn't have air defense, you know what would have happened. He's evaded that, look, the Chinese air defense did something, but that's more. Look at it.
80 in a few hundred miles. When 80 planes come at you, all of them having 5 missiles each, you multiply 80 with 5 missiles, and you know what India was coming at. Were they coming to hit one residential area with 80 planes and 400 missiles, some of which were dual carriers of atomic kind of warheads. So you saw what they were coming at. You saw what they came with. And you saw the technologies that they deployed from various countries. So I would say, bring it on, man. Give us those technologies.
So he wants technologies from USA. He wants air defense technologies from USA. Why? This is as much an international admission that the Chinese equipment failed. You think the Chinese won't pick it up?
But if we don't get
Okay.
any equipment,
No,
you've seen what would have happened.
this guy has tacitly, not tacitly, openly said, please give us 80 weapons. We are scared of China, India. You see the kind of technology which India has put on us. And Chinese 80 weapons are useless. This is the new normal. Okay? We have to understand this. We have to see how Pakistan doesn't get anything from USA. Should we work or not? We must. Okay, right. Pakistan, after all this, we all know this 1 billion, bailout has been given. Where will this 1 billion end up? IMF. This is an old cartoon. Has anything changed in Pakistan? Is it the new normal or the old normal? So what do? Work with IMF and ensure that this money doesn't go this way. I mean, whichever way we do, I know there's a bailout. 1 billion bailout is part of the IMF program, the 7 billion IMF program. But we need to do something. Same thing when that World Bank gives them 40 million over the next 10 years. We need to get working. We need to get working in ways which we have clout. And I'm sure the Prime Minister will go and make his point in G7 and say, look, you want to come to India, you have to call out Pakistan. Pakistan can't do that. Incidentally, everyone talks of Pakistan being made the chair of the UN Council and all that. Let me clarify. There were 3 councils. One on international terrorism, one on something else and all that. And the third one was on Taliban related story. Pakistan is in the Security Council as a non-permanent member and part of that thing. So he had to get one chairmanship. So what has he been given? He's been given in that with Taliban because they have issues with Taliban. That's it. The rest he's not been put. There's a lot of halla-gulla in India about it. But the fact is, he's not been given that leeway. That's the new normal. We are already doing what we have to do. But USA being USA, they're ready for this. This is nothing new. And this is all part of, look at the Musk mania which is going to start. Musk is not going to invade. But because of Musk mania in USA, this Trump will go off-road. Because today, the problem in USA is there's an internal rift. Trump will be weak. Trump will do these nonsense deals. As it is, Trump was erratic. And Trump was self-centered. He wants a Nobel Prize, let him take. I'm not bothered. Yet, we have to handle this situation. You're going to see a politically weakening USA. Anyone with an internal problem is not going to go and solve external problems. He's got no weight. He's tried his hand in Ukraine, nothing has happened. He's tried his hand in Gaza, nothing has happened there. He's been trying to, put Iran into a deal, nothing has happened. His trade war with China is good as far as I'm concerned, but it's not producing any end result, neither for China nor for USA. And as a result of that, he might succumb to that, and we'll talk of that a little later. He's just spoken to Xi Jinping. We'll talk of Xi Jinping also separately. But this is on the cards. So Musk mania is going to put USA in this. Musk won't be involved in it. Trump. Now let's talk of this. Let's talk of this relationship. Okay. Let's be very clear. What is China's long-term objective? Gwadar has to be the first overseas theater command headquarters of China. And Gwadar, Karachi, this belt, as it is, Karachi is a base, Chinese base. Because Karachi has everything. Gwadar will probably have the second strike capability of China. That's the long-term plan. I mean, any man will understand. This is not for trade and all that. Combination of Djibouti, Gwadar and Karachi will give them control over the Strait of Hormuz and Bab el-Mandab. This is what they want. Trump knows it, we know it, Pakistani knows it, Chinese know it. What is China's worry? This cartoon tells you everything. Have a look at it. They are worried about India, RAW, and BLA. We're going to blow up this CPEC bridge. That's it. We have to understand this. We keep talking of China, China, China. What is China's worry? That's why I say go across, see what that fellow talks. This is from Baidu. Okay. I've been reading a lot of Baidu. I've been reading a lot of Guancha. I've been reading South China Morning Post, Xinhua, everything. One thing is consistent. They all say that Pakistan has been victorious over India. And they downed 6 planes. Beyond that, they don't talk. And all these are normally read internally. They're not read externally. Because you and I can't read them. No? They're all in Chinese. We don't even know their websites. There's hardly any chap in the YouTube also in India who talks of all this nonsense. Except this old fool. हम तो पढ़ते हैं भाई. But I'll show you flash 2-3 things. This, look at this. Iran and Afghanistan ran to cooperate with India, completely forgetting China and Pakistan are building construction projects. He's worried. He's worried. Okay. And he tells, look, let me see what is the next one. Yeah. We'll come to that. He says, look, why did the Iranian foreign minister run to India? Just around Sindoor after that. The Iranian foreign minister came to India to strengthen their ties. They have old ties, they have civilizational ties. They have Chabahar, which is operating, Gwadar, which is not operating. Through Chabahar, things are going. And once Chabahar comes, they can, bypass Pakistan completely. They are discussing it. And then Iran needs India to be, because, and then through India it can influence USA for that nuclear deal. And then if Iran is good with India, then it can show two fingers to China when the time comes. Irrespective of the fact that we are okay with them and all that. Iran is hedging. See, when you look at it from the other guy's point of view, a lot of normals come out. And then he says Iran and Pakistan have traded missiles. So that border also, Pakistan is not safe. They worried about Pakistan. They worried about CPEC. Then he says Taliban. Oh, Taliban minister and Jay Shankar met. Why did they meet? So the raw, everyone is helping BLA and TTP and all that. And they're squeezing the Pakistanis and the Chinese in the CPEC. It's a double pincer attack. ये शब्द इस्तेमाल करते हैं Chinese. The pincer attack. They're worried. In geopolitics, beyond a point, nothing works except their own interest. And then he says, look, Pakistan is facing a double attack. In the front, it is India. In the rear, it is BLA. BLA has declared independence. And then, of course, TTP also. What happens if a new, and these articles, there are about 10 or 12 of them. I'll talk separately. I'll have a session on them Monday about China's concern in CPEC and Pakistan. I'll analyze it. He says, what will happen to CPEC if Baluchistan goes into flames? And then they analyze how Pakistan has, the Chinese tell Pakistan has, neglected Baluchistan. It is because of Pakistan's neglect that Baluchistan is now seeking independence. And then they describe each attack of BLA in detail. And when you see that attack, Pakistan has not reported all this. I mean, this is very funny. We think there's no firewall. What bloody firewall? If you know where to look, you can look through the firewall. From Pakistan, there's no news about Baluchistan. You read Chinese Baidu somehow, and you'll know full story what's happening in Baluchistan. How they've gone. In each action, they say, okay, chap, they've gone, they've controlled the town for some time. They've looted Pakistani forces. They've taken weapons from them. Then they've collected taxes, all this. There's something happening in Baluchistan which Chinese are worried about more than anyone. And Pakistanis would be doing whatever they're doing, and they're not successful. They're not successful. I don't know whether Baluchistan will go free or not. Okay. But Pakistan and China will not survive. Now in this, you see USA has come. So this is a new battleground. That's the new normal. And where do we stand? We have to understand. We have to understand it. Okay. Now, what's the sentiment in Baluchistan? Understand this story. Now, this old man on the left is, Akhtar Mengal is the a Sardar. He's the leader of BNP. He's today probably the tallest political leader in Pakistan. This old man on the left is Akhtar Mengal's father. I'm forgetting his name, right? And he had a good equation with Nawaz Sharif. You see the depth of what he's going to speak now. We'll talk of it. First, listen to him.
यहाँ कभी भी आपने देखा कि फौज ने अपने आप ये गुस्से में आकर लोगों को उठा लिया और फिर उसके मसूदा लाशें फेंकी? कतल नहीं, एक भी वाकया आप हमें नहीं बता सकते। क्यों? ये फौज पंजाबी के लिए बुरा मानते, मियाँ साहब मुझे माफ करें, पंजाबी के लिए बुरा मानते। ये पंजाब की फौज है, ये पाकिस्तान की फौज नहीं, या फिर मैं पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा नहीं, मुझे पाकिस्तान।
So see, look at it. What he says. ये पंजाब का फौज है, या पाकिस्तान की फौज है, या मैं पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा नहीं हूं.
वो नहीं समझते, अगर नहीं समझते हैं मुझे इस पे कोई एतराज नहीं है। उन्होंने खुद ये फैसला मेरे लिए किया है। इतना बता दूं कि इस सारे धंधे ने बलूचिस्तान को पॉइंट ऑफ नो रिटर्न तक पहुंचा दिया।
This is old man. He's no more. He said this long back. बलूचिस्तान को पॉइंट ऑफ नो रिटर्न तक पहुंचा दिया. This is the sentiment which is deep in Baluchistan. And with every passing day, it is only growing stronger. Okay? And you see,
अब मैं कितना भी चाहूं मियाँ साहब को धोखा देने की कोशिश करूं, कितना भी चाहूं मियाँ साहब को दिलासा दूं, लेकिन मैं जानता हूं मेरे बस में नहीं है।
period. He says, मैं कितना भी धोखा देना चाहता हूं, I mean, I can do, but it's not in my control anymore. Okay. Now, Baluchistan is completely out of control of Pakistan. People have to understand this. This fellow is Hamid Mir. And of course, this clip is before Op Sindoor. After Op Sindoor, nothing much has changed. But hear him, what he says, what is the status in Baluchistan?
मंडी में जो बैठे हुए हैं पॉलिसी मेकर्स, ये चले मेरे साथ, इनको मैं लेके चलता हूँ। ये अटक का पुल क्रॉस करें, खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में पन्नू टीआई खान में असर के बाद जाकर दिखाएं मुझे किसी सड़क पे। चैलेंज है मेरा, असर के बाद, मगरिब के बाद नहीं, असर के बाद किसी सड़क पे निकल के दिखाएं मुझे। और ये पुलिस के साथ भी नहीं जा सकते। ये जितने भी बड़े बड़े पॉलिसी मेकर्स है ना, अपने आप को बड़े फने खान समझते हैं, ये चले मेरे साथ बलूचिस्तान में, और जो हब से जो खुशदार को सड़क जाती है वहां पे मुझे ये मगरिब के बाद चल के दिखाएं वहां पे, और किसी पेट्रोल पंप पे खड़े होकर चाय पी के दिखाएं मुझे। और ये जो हमारे बड़े बड़े वुज़रा साहबान है ना, जो कहते हैं पाकिस्तान में सब कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, और बहुत बड़े बड़े हमारे जो मीडिया के लोग हैं जो आजकल इस हुकूमत की तारीफ में जमीन व आसमान के किलाबे मिलाते हैं, ये जाके दिखाएं ना मुझे इन सब इलाकों में, और वहां पे जाके इसकी तारीफ करके दिखाएं मुझे शहबाज शरीफ साहब की हुकूमत की।
Look at it. Nothing has changed. In fact, if you see, things are going worse in Baluchistan. So we have to recalibrate the way we do business. We have to start thinking differently. The new normal is something completely different, and Baluchistan is the battleground. If you understand this, there's a lot we can do. The Chinese are very worried about us, or activities with Iran and Afghanistan. Okay. What's the business between China and Pakistan? Donkeys. The only thing which Pakistan gives to China is donkeys. And this is a major article in Dawn. Okay. Right. We all know this. We all know this. This is the old thing of Times of India. That fellow says death with 1,000 cuts to us, and he's in debt with 1,000 cuts to China. At some point of time, China will cut its losses. And that will be the time. Can we push them to that level? What should my action plan be? My action plan should be very clear. How do I put Pakistan and China in a place where China says enough is enough, I have to quit? You have to play on China now then. How do you play on China? You have to understand that China itself is in a problem. I'm going to do a program on PLA. Let's look at it. PLA weapons have not functioned. Otherwise, USA, Pakistan won't go to USA and seek weapons. This is not the first time. Javed Kamar Bajwa also sought US weapons long back. 2 years back. He was not given. Now also they'll not be given. That's a different story. Okay? So PLA is a system which doesn't have good weapons. It doesn't have good leadership. 3 generals have been killed in the past 1 month. Half the CMC is missing. There's political problems. All that I will discuss separately. PLA, is it an army which can fight? These are questions which I'm sure China itself is asking. They're not fools. Oh, this, China, US, the trade war is on. Who's losing? I don't know whether Trump is winning or not, but China is losing. China is losing big time. It's possible, this trade war is a lose-lose situation. China itself is in a trade war. It's a war which is happening with great consequences. Why I say China is losing is because it's triggered political instability in China. And everything in China is political. When you see what's happening in your neighborhood, you have to understand. And here you are. You're rising. They're going down. And this is not my, what shall I say, assessment. This is the Chinese assessment, which comes out of Baidu. Three generals gone. Where is the PLA? Including He Dong, who's supposed to be a vice chairman of the CMC. This fellow died. Actually, he's been killed. One day he was good, next day he finished off in 301 hospital, which is on some secret hospital of theirs. Everyone in YouTube, everyone in social media, every Chinese expert says this chap has been killed. Who was he? This guy. Who was he? Sorry. This guy. Who was he? He was the ex-vice chairman of CMC. A Xi Jinping favorite. Gone. It's not simple that 3 chaps die in a matter of 1 month. And that force is okay. You analyze more, we'll see. Yesterday only, General Harsh Karkat spoke of purges in PLA with General Dushyant. Have a look at it. Look, this is something which I'm doing now. I'm giving my videos will appear on Claus and Claus videos will appear on Ganashot. What does that bring you? It brings you the best analysis India can have. The best guys. I find that you people are not watching enough of those videos. Start watching them. They might not be slick. They might have problems of audio, some video problems, all that. But they are the best professionals who are analyzing India realistically, because all these fellows have worked on ground. In fact, Harsh Kakkad was my student. Have a look at all that. Yeah. Now, the 19th Politburo, this problems which is there, which I told you. Now, Li Keqiang died, killed. Wang Yang is now to come in, which I have spoken of. Okay, Zhang Yuxia, he is the whole story, Sutradhar of this instability between PLA and CM, the Politburo Standing Committee and the CCP and all that. Hu Jintao is back, who was shunted out by thing. I've told you all this. So the new normal in China is chaos. If there is chaos there, USA is in chaos, who's stable? And Pakistan ko dekh hi liya aapne. Please understand, we are the stability factor. But that's why our Prime Minister is being called to G7. Please come. And there is now a thinking in China, which was there even before Sindoor. How do we handle India? And I'll redo that program with the thinking, and that thinking will come back in a matter of 1 month. They'll all not talk, but the reality is different. Reality is this. See this fully. So Pakistan now wants J-35, they want AVAX, they want HQ-9, all this, plus rollover of loans, all that from China, and China has no choice but to give them. But let me also put it: this J-35, all that is a lot of hype. No J-35 is going to come immediately. J-35 itself is a futuristic program. Okay. Now, they are seeking J-35, HQ-19, all that from China. On the other hand, they want technology from USA. How will they balance this? There's also a trust deficit now between Pakistan and China. There are reports where Pakistan has scripted the AD which you have given us has killed us. The victory बोलना अच्छा है, social media में बोलना अच्छा है, but actual fact is different. Oh, very nice. I see 786 viewers, 786. Okay. So there is a major problem developing between, in Pakistan. They can't trust Chinese weapons. Chinese can't trust their own weapons. They want US weapons, which they'll not give. And for all this, they have to spend money. Where will they get money from? Who's going to give them money? If they give money, what happens to that poverty which I showed you in the beginning? And in all this, there's this business of interwater treaty. I'm going to come to that. We are not. There's going to be a little longer program, but I'll come to that. And then I want to tell you about this. The PL-15, which we caught. Look, my analysis is that it's a single pulse motor. It's not a dual pulse motor, as advertised, or at least what they've given to Pakistanis. It's a single pulse motor whose range is only 60 to 70 kilometers. Whereas it should have gone to 140, 150 kilometers. And Pakistanis have gone to town saying, we downed a Rafale with a PL-15. It's only PL-15, no, not the J-10 which can fire. J-10 can only fire, but the damage is by a missile. And they say we've hit this Rafale at 100 odd kilometers and all this nonsense. But yeah, तुम्हारा missile won't go beyond 60 to 70 kilometers with a single pulse. How has it gone to 150? Very serious doubts. It's not serious doubts. I don't have any doubts left now. Either the Chinese have put topi on Pakistanis, or this missile is a fake missile. I mean, fake missile is Chinese technology is only that much. And that's why I said I'll do a separate thing on, PLA separately. It needs a review. Then Pakistanis want dialogue. But dialogue, they say, no, it should come from India. India should adhere to everything and then we'll talk. अरे यार तू बड़ा भिखारी तेरे से कौन बात करेगा? And then there's a whole lot of analysis on Indus Water Treaty. Then they say it's a binding agreement. It's not a binding agreement. No treaty is binding. Any treaty is binding only when two people say okay with each other. Otherwise, you can't enforce it. Look at China. China had a treaty with Britain on Hong Kong that they will country one country, two systems till 2050. They didn't hold to that treaty, did they? What could Britain do? Nothing. If I don't hold the treaty, what will they do? Nothing. What can they do? This Bilawal Bhutto Zardari wants to go and says, if they stop water, it'll become a nuclear issue. Yaar, kaun sa nuclear issue hoga? They are in panic. Let me tell you about Indus Water Treaty. They want to build more dams, but building more dams is not the issue for them. The dams which they have, they can't maintain them. The dams which they're going to build, this fellow Shabazz Sharif has said, oh, build the Dhamar Basha Dam faster. It can't become ready before 2032. That Mohammed Dam, which China is building, will not be ready before 2027. By then, you do minimal things, your Indus Water Treaty will be a flop. Minimal. In 2 years, you can do a hell of a lot. Will Pakistan survive till then? And these are optimistic. Someone has to pay for those dams to come online. Who's going to pay them? Do they take care of their property? Do they take care of buying HQ9? Do they take care of buying dams? What can they do? As per reports, and I compiled, if I continue, there's no this thing. See, look at this. Rather than augmenting water productivity, our planners are obsessed with building new reservoirs and expanding irrigated areas. The reason more structures means more money. So they want to build, they want to make money. Forget about building water shorter and all that nonsense. Then there's this Cholistan Canal project. Asim Munir started it. And they want to sell 5 million acres of land to people. Who are the people? Fauj. Where will it take Pakistan? It will go nowhere. So you think there's a next war going to happen? We should not let it happen. You have to play on this. Okay? And now they want to cancel the Shimla agreement. Do they know what cancelling Shimla agreement means? And as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, we can play it suboptimally. Let's be very clear. I mean, the new normal is this. Don't get out of it. You're still in it, actually. You said it is held in abeyance. And you do it in 2 stages. First stage, you do everything which is allowed within the Indus Water Treaty. Because that itself will take you 3-4 years. The moment you do that, Pakistan will be on its knees anyway. And then you take it to the next level of what you want to do beyond the Indus Water Treaty. So they can go nowhere. They can't go for arbitration. Who will arbitrate for them? You can always say, look, we are still within the Indus Water Treaty. Legal warfare. So you want to go to arbitration, keep going, I'm not coming. So International Court of Justice will give an ex parte decision. Let it give, don't bother. What did China do in South China Sea? International Court of Justice said, 9-dash line is not yours. But China said, to hell with it, I'll do what I want. So you do the same thing. Who'll support them? Who'll support them? China. You tell China, yeah, you shut up. He can't stop your water also. Brahmaputra. So all these things have to be taken into account. This is the new normal. Okay. There. Look at this production of cotton. In this year, without Indus Water Treaty problem, has declined by 30.7%, maize by 15.4%, sugarcane by 3.9%, rice by 1.4%, and wheat by 8.9%. This is despite the fact that they've increased the area under cultivation. Pakistan. So where is the new normal of Pakistan? Set that. All this victory and all is over. Okay. What's going to come, is the issue. Ye hai battleground, new battleground. There will be the new battleground. This is what we have to watch out for. And you have to watch out for these chaps who have spoken. India shouldn't be in a position where these chaps make a treaty amongst themselves, come to understanding amongst themselves, which is adversarial to us. If it does, we should be very clear as to how to respond to everyone. Start working on that. That's the new normal you might likely to face. But will that mean that they'll be helping Pakistan together? Question mark. They'll fight still on Pakistan. There's this article from South China Morning Post. It says China-US rivalry is now, putting pressure on East Asian nation. This is your opportunity. This is the opportunity for India. Give all these East Asian nations and all those people around China a hedge for India. See, one of the good things which has happened in Op Sindoor is your weapons are proven in battle. Everyone knows it. Everyone wants weapons which are proven in battle. In fact, I must tell you, when we said okay for the M777 from USA, one of the things they said, look, it is a proven weapon system. It is, US people have used it extensively in Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, your Akash is proven, your Akash Tir is proven, your attacks is proven. So many things are proven. Your BrahMos is proven, Pinaka has proven. Why will people not come? Why will people go and buy costly item from others? People will come. Make use of it. If the fight is between USA and China, make use of this. And when you increase your arms sales, your economy goes up anyway. And this is huge. And you will get complete influence. With arms sales, you get military influence, diplomatic influence. So we have to up our politico-military diplomacy. Politico-military diplomacy is a new thing, the new normal which we have to deal with. Look, we need to have a paradigm change in the way we do things. And, USA should remember this. When dealing with Pakistan, I think they've forgotten it. That's why I'm showing it. I hope someone in USA sees this. And these cartoons. Okay. I mean, has USA forgotten all this? When they go calling with Pakistan? And this? I think someone should show all these cartoons to Trump ji. And this cartoon is very interesting. It's the army funded by China and terrorists and politicians, everyone there. And if USA thinks they'll get something out of China, Pakistan is this. And this is the combination which threw them out of Afghanistan. Right. This is all I had to say today to all of you. I do hope you have liked this video. It's a bit long on Sunday. I understand that. But worth it. This is the new normal. There's a changed perception. You have new opportunities. We have to think differently. We have to be confident India. And we are confident India. I can see it. Many of this thing. Right. Okay. So let me take a few questions. I obviously can't take all questions. I'll take a few. At the outset, Ashok Samani, thanks for joining me as a YouTube member. And Rajendra Tripathi, also thanks for joining me as a YouTube member. Okay, let me take some questions from people. Yeah, Pak exposed themselves this time. Ignore Pakistan, clear 7 trillion economy, own 5th generation manufacturing. Yeah, 5th gen is all minor. Let me tell you, all that will happen. 7 trillion economy. Look at the larger picture. Look at the new normals. Set the new normals. Akash, good morning. How are you? Right. Rupa and Deb, how are you? Good morning. Ashok Nayak, good morning. Yeah, thanks a lot, Rohan. Keep tuning on to daily sessions in the morning. I'll see if I can make it a little earlier at 8:30. If I can, I'll do. because that will ensure that you guys who wherever you are have enough time to get ready, have breakfast, and go to the office and all that. Right. Yeah, Mallika Praveen, good morning. How are you? Long time. Uh, yeah, let me see. Yeah, good morning, General Jai Hind, Jai Ma Bharati. Naman to all of you, provided for making Bharat strong. Thanks a lot. Right. And can you make an episode on what's happening in Manipur? Yeah, I will one of these days. I'll get through. I'll get General PC Nayak to speak on it because he's good at it. Okay. Yeah, this fellow is useless. This Claudine. Okay. End of story. Okay. Let me see. What are the questions? Any questions? Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. It would not be surprising if Pak leadership and army has sold whole or parts of Pak to the highest bidders many times over the decades. Do these Pakis understand their reality? I think so. I think a lot of people will understand the reality and it will come to bite them. It's a matter of time. The world is round. Whatever you throw comes round. It's a matter of time. Sir, make short videos. Sorry, Harish, I'm not that kind. You want short videos? There's so many people. Please go and listen to them. Unless everyone says, please make short videos, then I will only speak 5 minutes and end of story. You guys must understand the whole context. If you don't understand the whole context and the whole story, then we are going nowhere. Your cartoons are too good. Kudos. Thanks a lot. Unlikely the crypto deal is about mining Bitcoin in Pakistan, likely more to do with money laundering and cover. I agree with you. That's the fundamental thing. That's why I said I'm not too keyed into it. Okay. I think Musk is in big trouble. Look, if Musk is in big trouble, so is USA, so is Trump. That's the point. Right. The topical cartoons you collate to support the talk are quite the hook. A picture talks 1,000 words. I agree with you, Ashok. Right. India has been exploring rare earth elements on the ocean floor for more than 50 years. There are 1,000 times more RE under the sea than on land. What do we have to show for these years of effort? I'll have to do some research on it and get back to you. Okay. Yeah, there's another person in Pakistan who has shown realism by keeping his mouth shut, Nawaz Sharif. I think he knows what's happening and he can do very little about it. Yeah, the Pakistan man saying 80 Indian planes with 400 missiles were coming at them. We never claimed such a dominating strikes. See, that's what the truth comes out. How scared they were. Japan also exploring RE under the sea. All that we'll see. Let's see. It's too early to talk. Right. Okay. Bitcoin is matka. Even real world mining is lottery. I agree with you completely. Completely matka hai. And cartoons are good, humorous, and explain things in the funny way. That's the whole idea. Okay. Yes, the cartoonist. Cartoonist is Satish Acharya. Great talent. Good morning. Have a nice day. Yeah, like I said, I only make them to the context. The cartoonists have made, they are the best guys. I only take their cartoons and use it, borrow it, and explain my point of view through their thing. Yeah. Would China's economic and demographic decline means less obstacles for India's 2047 Viksit Bharat target, or would the jealous China double its efforts to pull us down? I'll talk about it in the next episode when I talk of the demographic effects of China. There is more to explain. When I explain that, because last time what I explained was only about the demography, but what are the effects of that demography is something which we'll do it a little later. You say India can do a lot to take advantage, but you also have said we don't have structures to do it in an organized manner. Will there be anything more than an ad hoc approach? Look, things will evolve. None of these are going to happen tomorrow. These are all long-term affairs. But we need to start turning into that direction. Are we turning into that direction? I think there's a realization. So let's be patient. What is the option for India regarding rare earth? We'll talk of that separately. I did a full episode on that. Have a look at that. Yeah, this is important. US just banned its company from providing any technical information, spare parts, and new equipment for their commercial nuclear plants. We are unable to ship anything to. Yeah, that's a problem. China is going to go into a huge problem because of all this. Okay. How is Huawei dealing with all these people? Your views? Huawei is, wherever it is entered, it is there. And there are a lot of people who have taken Huawei, entire Africa, all these Pakistan kind of countries. So it will survive. We should have a base in Baluchistan. We don't need a base in Baluchistan as much as we should support Baluchistan morally. Yeah, I think we have to deal with Pakistan's breakup. Will BLA join India? Baluchistan wants to join. They've already said in as many words. Ask the way China is behaving after Pakistan war. Doesn't it look like an immature power trying to brag when there's nothing to brag about? Is China showing its hand by behaving? Why? China is doing it for internal purposes to show that they have won. Otherwise, what can they show to their people? That's the problem, internal signaling and messaging. Yeah, writer David Ignatius, well known to be close to CIA and related agencies, has now written that Russia-Ukraine war will shift to dirty war. Should India worry? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, just one chap's idea is not something which we should take. Yeah, I'll get the government, because I'm sure the government is seeing what I'm talking. Yeah. Since they cancelled the Shimla agreement, Pakistan can't justify usage of nukes anymore. If India launches a campaign to POJK, yeah, there are a lot of things. They're stupid, actually. They don't know what they're doing. And they're actually quite, cluttered up. How to deal with vested interests? Look, that's the mark of a growing nation. As a rising nation. As a rising nation, you better start dealing with things the way they are. Yeah, solar panels being dumped in Pakistan are discarded ones and substandard quality. Chinese don't have space to dispose it off, and they found a new. Yeah. Look, Chinese are going to wreck Pakistan. They're going to wreck Pakistan, and Pakistani generals and politicians are selling Pakistanis down the line. You see that World Bank report, very clear. How will the loss of experienced Pak army personnel affect its capabilities given that hardware can't be replaced quickly? How long might it take to? It's not going to be easy, whatever they've lost. Any procurement in any countries will take 4 to 5 years, period. Even if it without any negotiation. Look, there's a process. First, you have to see what is lost. Then you have to see what is that you want to replace. Would you want to get a new system or do repair? And then, do you want to repair a system in which you have no confidence or get a new system? So it's a process. It's not going to happen in a hurry. Please, nothing is going to happen in a hurry. Should India trust USA fully? Forget it. Forget about F-35 or this and that, Su-57. These are all later. Let professionals handle that. As far as trust is concerned, don't trust anyone except yourself. Yeah, why is India soft on Malaysia? They supported Pak. I'll have to go into it. I'll go into a little detail and get back to you. Yeah. Why Indians are only obsessed with economy and overlooking security? Look at what happened once progressive in Afghanistan and how Pak US. It will not happen. I think you're on the wrong track. Completely on the wrong track. We are focused on economy with a strong army. When I say strong army, I mean Navy, Air Force, and which has ensured that our economy has grown to where it is. Look, there's a very major thing which has happened in Op Sindoor, which I don't know if you people have understood. Let me explain. Whatever has happened in Op Sindoor, the Pakistani economy is going to get hurt badly. Our economy is going to get a springboard. That's the major strategic difference, and that's the new normal which is going to be set. Yeah, good weekend from West Coast, USA, sir. When I shared some of your stats with some of my friends across the world, they say in unison, the world does not know any information about China. What is the source? Tell them all the information which I've got is from China only. My sources are all Chinese. That's why I show their cuttings and all that and then explain. Many times I read it off that. It's not as if I can't talk. That's the thing. They're all show them, tell them to watch my videos and they'll get convinced because I'm going to quote their sources which are available open. They can go put a link and see. Shahid Ahmad, I can see you talking a lot. So let me tell you, water can't be stopped. I agree. It will be diverted. And it will be diverted away from Pakistan. I have no doubts. What is clause about and its agenda? Clause is the official think tank of the Indian Army, Center for Land Warfare and Systems. Okay, it's the official think tank. So it is doing all thinking for the Indian Army, whatever it is. Yeah. How far is balkanization of China? There is a strong power struggle there. Let's see. At this point of time, I don't see it happening, but it could happen. I mean, China is. If you have to read the history of China to understand, China goes through upheaval every century and a half or two. The last upheaval happened in the 40s. It's closing to a century. Okay. Upheaval is on the cards. Look, all my data about China's demographics are from English apps, okay, or from English apps, and or UN sources. What I'd suggest is read this guy E. Fuxian. You type E. Fuxian, YIFUXIAN in Twitter. He's a demographer. Okay, he has written extensively about Chinese demography. Read that. Read that. That's the best way you will get information about Chinese demography in Chinese. He writes in Chinese. Please highlight China, how China could do biowarfare that you can't do. Don't worry. Yeah, with the Indus water issues, where is Park getting surplus electricity from? Because they have created through coal-fired plants. They've created. Look, it's not as if they don't have water. They have water. Only thing is they're misusing it. Now, if the water goes to the coal-fired plants are part of the CPEC. So the coal-fired plants are making electricity, but that electricity can't be used because they don't have feeder lines. So they're going to make all this Bitcoin story next to them and use it. And they're using water. It's not as if Indus doesn't have water. But whatever the water they use here will be at the cost of something else, their agriculture. That's the cost trade-off which Pakistan has to pay. Is Z under house arrest? Possible. It's possible. Some people say so. Right? Okay. Yeah. Srinivasa Rao. How are you, Srinivas? Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thanks a lot for attending. Okay. He's from my unit, incidentally. Right. I've known him well, Srinivas. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for attending this session. A little long, but that's fine. We'll get back in the evening. Shri Ayarji has not even told me what the subject is. Anyway, we'll decide during the course of the day. And by 8:30, we'll be back on air. Till then, have a great day. And my friend from Pakistan and China, enjoy yourself. I'll expose more of you as time goes on. You can keep trolling me because more you troll me, the more authentic I become. And that's why you guys come here. Okay. Thank you and have a great day.